Hi, welcome to the holiday season. Welcome to Winter with Snap. Today I'd like to show you a little fun interactive activity that you can do at home or in class. It's a snowball. Let's make a snowball. In Snap, we first want to make the stage like a night sky. So we're turning to the pen category and we drag out a set background color block, and I'm going to choose a dark bluish color. Click on it once, and now my stage is night blue. Now let's model a storm, a flock of snowflakes. And if you look at how actual flocks of birds are working, it's a little complicated. I'm going to show you a little trick how to model the visuals in an easy way, because we're not interested in exactly simulating a flock of birds. We're more interested in the visuals. So we're going to start with a leader sprite. And what the leader is going to do, it is going to point in a random direction every time we start the script. And then it is forever going to move a little, and it is going to bounce off the edge. But as it is moving, it will always change the direction slightly in a random way. So we're making a turn, and we're going to say a number between -20 and +20 degrees. So let's check this out. So now our sprite is kind of doing a random walk across the stage, actually never leaving it. Now, to make this more interesting, we're going to add the concept of wind. So I'm going to stop this script and make a variable, and it's a global variable for all sprites that is called wind. In the beginning, we're going to set the wind to a number, let's say to 30. And then at every step, the sprite will move whatever the strength of the wind is. So it's going to start out with 30, but then it's going to slightly decrease the speed. This is something that is called a decay, and it works by multiplying the wind with something that is not quite 1. So we're going to set the wind to the wind times something that is slightly less than 1. So this is 0.996 is something that I like. And here you can see the watcher of the wind. So let's try this. It's starting out very fast, and you can see the wind strength decaying. It's getting less. And as the wind is getting less strong, the sprite is moving less fast. And now, eventually it'll come to a stop. And if we want to again increase it, we can again set the wind to 30 to make the leader sprite fast again. That's kind of half of the trick. Now we have a single sprite. Now what we want to do is we want to have snowflakes that follow our leader. Let's do that. I'm going to stop this, and I'm going to hide the wind variable, and I'm going to draw a new sprite. So I'm clicking on the Paint a New Sprite button, and I'm starting Snap's paint editor, and so I want this new sprite just to be a ball, just a little dot. So I'm choosing the ellipse tool, and I'm making it all white, and I'm just drawing a little white circle. It's barely visible because it's white, but you can see it here. So now I have a white ball sprite, and I'm calling this a flake, a snowflake. Okay. We can also add another costume. So I'm going to the Costumes tab, and I'm clicking on the paintbrush to draw yet another costume. And I'm again opening the paint editor, I'm kind of slightly reducing the line width to 3. I'm choosing the line tool. I'm again making it white, and I'm drawing something else, like I'm drawing a vertical line, and a snowflake is actually a 6-fold symmetry, so I'm drawing kind of this little star. Now I have another costume, one that is a ball and one that is a star. So now let's model some behavior. So as the leader is moving around, that snowflake should follow it. Now the first thing we're going to do is we're going to make it so it doesn't rotate, and you'll see why in a minute. So we want the snowflake to point towards the leader, and then we want it to move in the direction of the leader. But so in order to do this, we want to move at different speeds. So we're going to make a variable that is called speed, and we're going to set the speed to a random number, and kind of the lower boundary could be something very slow like 2, and up to whatever the wind is. So some will move fast and others will move slow. Now, when we have lots of snowflakes following something, we don't want them to end up all at the exact same spot. So we're going to add another element of randomness. We're going to turn them slightly so they slightly miss their target. We're going to turn them in between -5 and +5. And now we want it to move to the leader, but to also slightly miss it. So we're going to repeat a number of times. And what we want to do is we want to move whatever the speed is. And so we're going to divide the whole distance to the leader by the speed. And in order to add yet a little more randomness, we're going to slightly overshoot it, and we're going to multiply it by 1.3. Let's actually check this out. We're starting the leader, and we're starting the follower. Oh wait, we need to add a forever block. So let's again start the leader and start the follower. So you can see the follower always kind of missing the leader, and sometimes moving fast and sometimes moving more slowly. And eventually it'll home in on the leader. Now we're almost done. Let's actually make a bunch of these. Let's make many of these. So we're going to say every clone is going to do this. So when a clone starts, it will do that. We're also going to make a bunch of clones. Let's actually make very many clones. Like, let's try 1,000 clones. And 1,000 times create a clone of myself, and we're going to switch to the next costume. So we're getting some that are shaped like snowflakes and some that are ball shaped. And we want all of this to happen at a single instant, so we're warping this. And all of this should happen when the green flag starts. Also, when the green flag starts, we want the leader to start jumping ahead. Let's try this project the way it is now. So we get 1,000 snowflakes following a leader. And it's already beginning kind of to look like a snowstorm, except it's a little bit too crowded. So let's change some of the settings here. I'm going to stop it. And we can add some more randomization. When a clone starts, we can let it assume a random size. So we're going to set the size to a random number in between, let's say, 10 and 60. And we can also add a random ghost effect. So we're going to set the ghost effect. We're also going to make it pick a random number of, let's say, 20 to 80. Let's try it now. Now this looks much better. We see snowflakes at different alpha values that makes it almost a little bit like a 3D appearance. Now basically the only thing that's worrying me here is that we still see this leader crawling here, and here we see the original snowflake that is still visible. How about we just hide it? I'm going to stop this project. I'm going to say the leader should always be hidden. So I'm going to hide it right at the beginning. Also, I want the snowflake to be hidden. So when the green flag is pressed, I'm hiding it. But whenever a new clone is made, that should be shown. Now what we should be getting is a nice swarm of snowflakes. Let's check it out. Now we don't see the leader anymore, and look at that, it's almost like some magic is happening. There is a snowstorm happening on my stage, and you can see the speed gradually decreasing, decaying. It starts like very fast, and now it is getting less and less. So how do we make this interactive? What would be a fun way to make the wind pick up speed again? Now remember, the leader, we already have this block. We need something to trigger this wind to be strong again. Now wind is something we can make with our mouth. So I could, for example, blow into my computer. Wouldn't that be great? Look at that. In the sensing category, we have the microphone block, and there's a microphone volume. Now, I can check the microphone volume here, and it's a number. It's how loud I am speaking. There's a microphone right next to me. So if I blow into the microphone, I can see it getting louder, and you can hear it. So I can say, if the loudness of my microphone is greater than a certain value, let's say greater than 50%, we're going to set the wind to 30 again, and we can place this right into the forever loop. Let's try it. I'm going to blow into this microphone. You see what's happening? The wind is picking up again, and the snowflakes are all turning wild together. So we've made ourselves a little swarm, a little Christmas bowl. You can now kind of try different things, and to make this even more beautiful, for example, one thing that I like, since it's Snap, I'm going to duplicate this snowflake. So now I have a second one, and I'm going to delete these costumes from my second duplication. I'm also just going to make 12 of these, and they're just going to have a single costume. And I'm going to name this Alonzo because I'm going to import Alonzo. So I'm going to open a costume and look for Alonzo. And here's Alonzo. So I'm importing Alonzo. And since Alonzo is a little big, I want to make the size smaller, so 10% to 30%. Just 12 of these is enough. Let's turn this up to full screen and check out our Christmas holiday season Alonzo Snap Snowball. I'm starting it. And we should be seeing lots of snowflakes. And a dozen Alonzos in the snowstorm on my stage. And there is wind, there is swirl, it's a swarm, it's a murmuration almost. And it's getting slower and slower. And it's like if nothing happens, the wind comes to a standstill. And now in order to make it pick up speed again, we're going to blow into this. And you can see it picking up speed again. Here's a project, a quick project about a swarm of snowflakes. Have fun and have a happy holiday season.